We turn our attention, though, right now to a heartbreaking case making headlines out of Ohio, where a father has been indicted for the execution-style killings of his 3 young sons. This after the father allegedly confessed to planning and carrying out the murders. His name is Chad Doerman. This is him. Look at him crying in court. He was initially charged with 3 counts of aggravated murder last week after allegedly confessing to lining up his 3-, 4-, and 7-year-old boys in his front yard and executing them with a rifle. What's more, now a grand jury has indicted Doerman on 21 counts, including 9 counts of aggravated murder, 8 counts of kidnapping, and 4 counts of felonious assault. Now, he could potentially face the death penalty if he's convicted on these charges. And that is a penalty that a neighbor says Doerman deserves. Tanya O'Rourke with our affiliate WCPO reports.
Richard Kincannon tells me Chad Doerman had a temper. He told me he witnessed him often treating his wife and kids poorly.
You felt like he was just angry, generally speaking.
He was every day. I heard him. There wasn't a day he didn't yell at his wife and kids out there.
What would he yell?
All kinds of shit. He was just angry, yelling at her all the time, treating her like.
Police arrested Doerman after he allegedly shot his wife in the hand, then systematically killed each of his young sons. Their dead bodies laid in the yard.
So when you look at that house now, what do you see?
You honestly want to know?
Yeah, I do.
I still see the babies sitting in the yard, laying in the yard. One was right there by the tree, right by the road, not even 20 feet from the road right there. Is where that dude laid him. Laid the one up there right beside that silver truck to the left of the tire, about 5 foot. That's all I see every time I come out here. That's why I try to look at that, focus on that.
A tent now covers a memorial of candles, cars, and cuddle toys. Kincannon tells me he's struggled to eat or sleep since the murders. He watched Chad Doerman cry at his arraignment and had no compassion for him whatsoever.
He knew what he was doing. He planned it. It was premeditated. He shouldn't have a bond. He should never see daylight again, ever in his life. And I think they should execute him the same way he did his sons is the way he needs to go out.
Oh, that neighbor said exactly what I'm thinking. How about you, Cordy's? Let me bring back in my guests, retired DEA Special Agent Ted Golden and criminal defense attorney Joe Tamburino. Agent Golden, we have here the neighbor telling the reporter, and perhaps he's going to tell the court too one day, that this guy is an abuser, that he's been abusive as long as that neighbor has known him. What does that say to you about the crimes then carried out allegedly by him?
Pattern of behavior.
Bingo.
It's in his nature.
Bingo.
He's one of those people that just should never get out of the jail. He should be under the jail.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say enough about people who hurt children, especially when you line them up like dogs and you just shoot them.
Oh,
There's just no excuse for that. There's a special place in hell for him.
Sure is.
He should go straight there.
Sure is. You know, and tell me, Agent, so right now he's locked up. How do you think he's going to do? Because he's going to sit in prison, whether he goes to death row or not. He's going to a nice prison in Ohio somewhere where I'm sure he's going to meet some nice people who are going to like him very much, huh?
He's going to be the least favorite inmate in the facility because inmates have children, and when you hurt children, they come get you. So he's locked down 23 hours a day. He gets out for a walk around the park by himself. Yeah. And to take a shower, and that's it.
He'll have a target on his back, won't he?
They'll be waiting for an opportunity to get him.
Oh, I bet. You know, in prisoners, oftentimes, you know this well, Agent, have a strong moral compass. You know, who knows what they're in for? It could be an array of things, you know, at any of the state prisons. And people who hurt kids.
If you hurt a child, you're behind his mind. They're just waiting for an opportunity to get him. It's just that code that they have. And it's understandable. It's a moral code that even hoodlums and thugs have. Yeah. You don't hurt kids.
Yeah, do not hurt kids. This is just disgusting. It's hard to hear the facts. I mean, I was holding back tears as I was watching that. Joe Tamburino, you know, this guy, he's in court crying. I don't know who's going to get his case. I don't know if he's going to have a court-appointed attorney or if he's going to try to hire private counsel. No idea. But whoever's tasked with representing this guy, I mean, what are they going to do with these facts? You have admissions to this. You have the wife who witnessed this. I mean, I don't know how anybody's going to have a shred of compassion for this guy. What do those attorneys do, please, Joe?
Well, he's probably going to get appointed counsel. He doesn't look like someone that's going to be able to afford some type of private legal team. But they're going to have many obstacles. The first one is the confession, of course. The second one is the multiple murders. The third one is that it involves children. There's just no way around that. And the fourth one is his prior acts of domestic abuse, because most states, I don't know of any state that doesn't have a law that says when you have prior acts of domestic abuse and what you're charged with now is a domestic type of murder, those prior acts can be admitted to show patterns, to show motive, to show basically what this guy has intended all of his life was to hurt family members. So it's an uphill battle. And really the only thing you would have to look for is there a chance for some type of mental illness defense? I wouldn't think so in this case, but that would be your only shot.
Appreciate you saying that, Joe, because I've heard some rumblings and seen some different reporting where some are saying that perhaps he snapped. And I would think counsel's going to try to explore that, as you said. That's a great point, as they should. They need to see. But the one fact that really gets me is that one of those boys tried to get away. One of them broke free, you know, for a brief time, and he made the decision to go after the boy, bring him back, you know, which tells me, no, he had his wits about him. He knew what he was doing. He could have stopped, but no, he didn't.
That's right. I mean, that's going to come clearly into play. And I believe in one of the media reports, the defendant's father said that he might have snapped. He must have snapped. You know, I think he called him a good kid and a good dad, which is extremely hard to believe with this situation. But, you know, what happened after the fact matters, and he just did a full confession. He didn't say he was hearing voices. He didn't say the devil possessed him. He didn't say that I thought these three individuals were aliens and not my son. So it's going to be a tough road for him.
You're right, Joe. He is done. Stick a fork in him. This guy is done. You know, and it would make me mad if he goes to trial in a guilt-innocence phase. You know, he ought to just throw himself at the mercy of the court and the jury, and plead, and then see what happens, you know, in the penalty phase. And I feel sorry for the lawyers here that have to deal with him. Agent Golden, one last thing. I was wondering, and I said this on the show when we discussed it yesterday, about where was the wife? What was she doing at the time? We know that she's a victim too and had the shooting injury to her hand. But I kept wondering, why couldn't she rescue these children? Why couldn't she do something to try to interfere or fight with him? And then hearing this from the neighbor, it really opened up my eyes to think that she was probably just as petrified as those kids were, huh?
Waiting for her turn. Thinking she's going to be next. You know, domestic violence is a horrid thing. And when you've got someone who has that kind of control over a woman in particular, she just sits there looking like she's in mind control, like he's got a direct line to her brain and he's got her locked in and she's going to sit there and wait for her turn.
Yep. That's what it is. It's power and control. I mean, you know this, Joe, you know this. I mean, that's what domestic violence is all about, power and control. And when I heard that neighbor saying, you know, he's an abuser, he was abusive to them and would say all sorts of terrible things, yelling at them day in and day out, it's not shocking that it culminated with this tragic ending for those kids.